잘 거죠.
Well, welcome everyone. I cannot believe how thrilled I am to have the next President of the United States standing in our very middle class home. So we're just really thrilled. You know, I made a very bold step. I'm Erin Bilbray. Most of you know me, but some of you might not. I'm here with my husband, Dr. Coe. Has it gone off? Great. And I have spent my entire career getting women and others engaged in politics. That has been a very big goal for me. So this has been a very big step in my endorsement of Senator Sanders. And the reason I'm doing this is because I know for my daughter's sake that we need to have a change. We need to have corporate money out of politics. We need to go back to the days where every person's vote matters, and the 200 people in this country do not get to decide elections. So I am delighted, and I'm not going to talk long because I know people are cold and they really want to hear from you, Senator. But you are always welcome in Nevada. As you know, I have a special preference for Vermonters, as my husband was born and raised in Vermont, not born and raised in Vermont. Although my kids are fourth generation Nevadans. We are thrilled that you're here, and we're counting on you. We're counting on you to make the world a better place for our kids.
Well, let me thank Erin for her strong support, and Erin and Noah for hosting this event. And let me thank all of you for coming out. This is, in fact, a wonderful, wonderful turnout. I think Erin put her finger on perhaps the most important issue facing our country at a time when we are facing a series of enormous crises. But the one unifying factor, and that's Erin's point, unless we have a government that represents all of us, unless we have a nation in which one vote, one person is the rule for our democracy, we are not going to be able to address the other enormous issues facing this country. So the bad news is, as all of you know, is that 5 or so years ago, in a disastrous ruling, the United States Supreme Court, by a 5-4 vote, in the Citizens United case, basically said to the wealthiest people in this country who already own most of the economy, they said, guys, you can now purchase the United States government. And that is exactly what they are doing. As Erin just indicated, you got a few hundred families who have made more than half of the donations that have come into the political process so far in this campaign. That is not what democracy is supposed to be about. So here's a promise that I make to you, is that any nominee of mine to the United States Supreme Court will be loud and clear before he or she gets that nomination in saying that they will vote to overturn Citizens United. But to be honest with you, I don't know if everybody here agrees with me or not. Not only do we have to overturn Citizens United, if we want the kind of vibrant democracy that I believe in, we need to move toward public funding of elections. I am a passionate believer in democracy. I love democracy. I don't know where it came from, but I really do. No, I really do. In the sense that, you know, people disagree with each other. You got some conservatives out there. Fine. Let's argue about the future of America. That's what democracy is about. But I will be damned if a handful of billionaires, whether it's your own Sheldon Adelson whether it is the Koch brothers, whether other few billionaires are going to have their own caucuses and are going to invite their candidates to tell the billionaires what they're going to do for them. That's not democracy. Brothers and sisters, that is oligarchy, not democracy. And we will not accept oligarchy in the United States of America. And I can give you a dozen different examples of the degree to which a corrupt campaign finance system is impacting our government and our country. But let me give you one. Everybody here is aware that the scientific community is virtually unanimous in telling us that climate change is real, it is caused by human activity, and it is already causing devastating problems. And they are also virtually unanimous in telling us that if we do not get our act together in a very short period of time, the planet that we're going to be leaving to our children and our grandchildren will be a significantly less healthy and habitable planet. Now, how does it happen that we have a major political party called the Republican Party, where virtually all of their candidates refuses to acknowledge the reality of climate change, let alone come up with ideas as to how we transform our energy system? And if the answer is that they're just dummies and they don't know about this stuff, that's not the right answer. The answer gets exactly back to campaign finance. And that is that when a Republican candidate stands up and says that climate change is real, that we need to transform our energy system, on that day, the Koch brothers and the fossil fuel industry will stop funding that candidate. No to oil. That's right. The oil companies, the coal companies. That is what a corrupt campaign finance system is about. That's why we have to overturn Citizens United and, in my view, move to public funding of elections. But let me give you some good news in the midst of a lot of bad news with regard to a corrupt campaign finance system. And that is, when we began this campaign, that was 8 months ago, we were told by all of the experts and all of the pundits out there that, hey, Bernie, if you want to run a serious national campaign, you're going to have to raise tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars. And the only way you can do that is to have a super PAC. The only way you can do that is go to millionaires' homes and sit down and walk away with $5-10 million from some of the wealthiest people in this country. Well, I don't represent the interests of the billionaire class or corporate America. We chose not to go that route. So we are the only campaign on the Democratic side not to have a super PAC. But what did we do? Well, we knew we needed money. We went out to the working families and the middle class of this country aggressively through social media. And what happened has blown my mind. I would not have in a million years predicted what in fact has happened. And what happened over an 8-month period is that as of today, we have received 2.3 million individual contributions from almost 1 million people. And what that tells us, and the average contribution is less than $30 a piece. And this turns out to be more individual contributions than any candidate in the history of the United States of America. So we are doing it the old-fashioned way, and that is reaching out to ordinary Americans who are sick and tired of seeing, as Erin talked about, big money dominating our political process. And maybe they don't have a whole lot of money, and maybe all they can afford is $5 or $10 or $50. But what has happened in terms of the political revolution that we are advocating is that we are showing that when you have an agenda that makes sense to working families, they are prepared to stand up with you and make those small contributions. So the really good news is that we have confronted and confounded the pundits who said it cannot be done, that you have to be dependent on millionaires and billionaires. So we are running a people-oriented campaign, and I'm very, very proud of that. And what I have said over and over again is that, yes, the other side has more money than we have, that's true. And they have establishment support, that's true. But at the end of the day, if we do not allow our opponents to divide us up by race or gender or where we were born, or by whether we're gay or straight or whatever, if we stand together around an agenda that works for the middle class, raising the minimum wage, creating millions of decent paying jobs, pay equity for women workers, making sure that we are going to resist and fight all efforts to take away a woman's right to choose or to defund Planned Parenthood. Making sure that we're going to have trade policies that work for the workers in this country. Making sure that we're going to deal with climate change. Making sure that every young person in this country is going to have the right to get a higher education regardless of their income, because we're going to make public colleges and universities tuition free. Making sure that in a time of massive and grotesque income and wealth inequality, where the top 1/10 of 1% today owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%, that yes, we are going to demand that the largest corporations and wealthiest people start paying their fair share of taxes. So I just want to thank, again, Erin and Noah for hosting this event. Thank Erin, who is a superdelegate, for her support. We think that right now we are gaining momentum in Iowa, and we think we've got a shot to win there. We think we're probably a little bit ahead in New Hampshire. We think that we are making real progress here in Nevada. You know, just yesterday, my God, we had a great meeting with 150 trade unionists. We met with senior citizens, another large turnout. We met in the evening with people who were into agriculture, and we had more than 2,000 people out at a rally in Reno. And tonight we're going to have a rally right here in Las Vegas. We expect another very large turnout. So we think with your help in helping us run a grassroots campaign, knocking on doors, talking to people, doing it the old-fashioned way, we think we can win here in Nevada. And if we win in Iowa, we win in New Hampshire, we win here in Nevada, we have a real path to a national victory, and not only electing me as president, but much more importantly, transforming America through a people's revolution where millions of people stand up and make it very clear that we are going to have a government that represents all of us and not just a handful of billionaires. Thank you all very much.
Don't jump, Mike. It's not worth it. Okay. Anyone wants to do selfies, let's do it.
One. 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 One.